you're a renter in Washington State, things can get confusing at times. That's why the Tenants Union of Washington State has been holding regular tenants' rights clinics, helping people work through the issues they face. Dina Braccio, an education counselor at Tenants Union, joins me now. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
What are the biggest problems that tenants face, according to what they say to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest problem that tenants are facing in the whole state is really the unaffordability of rent. It is putting people in a financially precarious situation, often pushing them out of their communities. And this isn't just a Seattle problem, it's a problem all around the state, which is why we need rent control. We need it for the whole state of Washington, and we need it today.
If people have trouble with their landlords, they're not in a position of power right now because of the demand and the cost and all of the rest of that. So if they attend a rights workshop, what will they learn there?
Yeah, so at a renters' rights workshop, you're going to learn a bit about what your rights are like for the state law. And if you're a renter in Seattle, we have a lot of additional protections in the city of Seattle, so you're going to learn about that too. And you would also learn a bit about how to get organized with other tenants in your building and in your city, because that is one of the best ways to enforce your rights that you do have and to gain more rights. And there's actually going to be a renters' rights workshop tonight by one of our partners, B Seattle, at Ada's Technical Books.
Which is a super important thing, because otherwise you may not know that you have this suite of rights that you can count on legally.
Yeah, and I actually was speaking to someone earlier today who had basically a no-cause notice to move out within the city of Seattle, and that's actually not legal and is a protection we have in Seattle. And unfortunately, it's also a protection we don't have outside of the city of Seattle. But
maybe we can work on that.
Well, so we are working on that, and actually, we've been working with a group of tenants in Tacoma, the Tacoma Tenants Organizing Committee, and through all of our work, the City Council of Tacoma is considering a just cause law like we have in Seattle that would prevent these no-cause terminations of tenancies, and they're actually having a hearing about it also tonight.
Good, I'm glad that you're sharing this. And what can landlords do? I mean, what might help this whole situation be more peaceful and be able to be mediated in a way that is a win for both parties?
I mean, what landlords need to do is they need to not price gouge us. Like, they need to not price gouge renters. They need to make the repairs that are their jobs to make. They need to give tenants the space to enjoy their home like it is their right. And they need to treat tenants with basic human dignity and respect. And unfortunately, that is not always the case, and often not the case.
Well, and the problem is that we're all, we're talking about where people live, your home, and that's someplace that you should feel safe. So at a workshop, is it free for people to come?
Yeah, they're always
free.
Free.
Come and learn. And there are various locations where these are held, and I imagine that they're transportation friendly, public transportation friendly in terms of the destinations. Do you find that people are surprised when they attend these, that they learn things that they had no idea that they were entitled to?
Yeah, I'd say people are surprised for a lot of reasons. Sometimes they're surprised by what protections do exist. Sometimes they're surprised at how little protections do exist. Yeah. And I think that has a lot to do with what situations they're coming from, what their past experiences with landlords have been like, and also sort of what other things about them makes them more or less vulnerable. We've been seeing a lot that immigrant and refugee communities are especially vulnerable in this current climate, because if they run afoul of their landlord, they could not only be out of their house, but they could face a lot more serious consequences.
Wow. That's good to know. All right. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. A tenants' rights clinic regularly occurs across the greater Seattle area. We've linked more details online for you, or if somebody you know needs this information, and we'll be right back.